And welcome to the 106th episode of Redeeming the Time. I am your host, Jacob Wells. This is my dad, my co-host, Keith Wells. And thank you for listening to yet another episode. We are into Revelation 13.
Is this our first one in the new year?
This is, yes, it is.
Hey, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Sorry to all of the Ohio State fans, but I'm also not sorry because I don't like Ohio State. I picked them to win, and they lost.
That was rough.
They did not look
That
good.
was rough.
They did not look good.
The
Georgia also.
Georgia, I was like, that.
I thought they were gonna win it after Ohio State, and then
I didn't think Mississippi State was going to come in there and do anything. And
Ole Miss.
What did I say? Mississippi State? Yeah, Ole Miss. I knew I was going to say that wrong. Ole Miss, but the thought of Lane Kiffin not getting a national championship if they win would be glorious. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I want Big Ten to win, so I don't want IU to lose. They're just so dominant right now. But
I didn't realize they were that good.
For Ole Miss, he's still getting money though.
Yeah.
He got in his contract with LSU that he would still get whatever the bonuses were if Ole Miss continued on. So he's made $900,000 through the two different games that they've won.
It's so dumb.
If they win the national championship, he gets $1 million, and he's not even coaching the team.
It's so dumb. The whole coaching contracts in college need to be reworked.
Yeah,
that needs to blow
but that
up.
would be awesome that he goes to LSU and LSU won't do squat.
Yeah.
That would be great. I'm not vengeful at all.
I also think it's funny how the Ohio State fans, with IU being like up and up and being the number one, they're like, all right, let's cool the Jets. Let's see if they're actually good. Then they beat Ohio State, and then Ohio State lost, and IU beat Alabama dominantly. It's like, yeah, they are that good.
So what is that?
I didn't think they were, but
in the last 2 years, there's 7 teams that have been given a bye, and IU's the only one. Is it 7 or 5?
I don't know.
They're the only ones that have won after a bye week.
Well, it's more than just
CFP.
a week.
It's 25.
It's almost a whole month.
Yeah, 25 days off or something like that. So
I would rather keep playing. At least maybe 1 week, but 24 or 25 days or whatever it was, that's terrible.
Yeah.
That is terrible.
But
it doesn't matter what you do at practice.
Pretty cool. So
Yeah.
the bottom of the league, I mean, what's it, a 6 versus a 10 seed now versus the 1 and the 4. So I don't know.
We'll see.
You gotta think Oregon or IU's gonna win. Nobody
right.
cares about that. Go ahead.
So I've got 2 different topics that I don't know how I got on it, but I thought it would be cool
Okay.
to see if you could.
And you haven't told me about these, so
One of them you need to guess. The other one we'll just talk about. Okay.
all right.
So frequent names used in the Bible, human names. So Old Testament, New Testament. So I think we've talked about the entirety, but we've talked about how many chapters are devoted to someone. Because Joseph is up there, but he's not up here in how many times that name is used.
Okay, so is this how many times somebody else has named that? Like there's
How many times David is found in the Bible?
Okay,
He's
so
number
it's,
one
okay, so it's not
in
like
the Old Testament.
it's not like 25 guys named Joseph or something like that.
No.
Okay. Okay.
So
yeah.
Old Testament, the number one
Moses,
is
David, Abraham.
no.
David and Moses for sure.
David, Moses, Abraham is not.
Okay.
Just shocking to me. He's there. He's up there, but not in the top 5.
Not in the top 5? Oh, boy.
Think about the people
Okay.
related to, not related. Aaron. But
Miriam.
no.
No, Miriam's not used that often.
Miriam's more than Abraham.
Levi? No. Judah?
Levites is very popular, but that is not. No, they don't count that as. They don't count that
Levites, they don't count that as Levi. Okay.
When it says Judah, it's when it's talking about the human being. Because that's also, I think, part of the reason Abraham, because it's saying Abraham's descendants, not
okay.
Abraham.
All right. Then Joseph, Jacob.
Yes.
Okay. So we got who we have? David, Moses,
Jacob, Aaron.
Aaron, and we're doing top 5.
In relation to David.
Oh, Saul.
Yeah.
Okay. So
because it said in
4
Kings.
good guys, 1 bad guy.
In Kings, it says Saul all the time. Like
okay.
In 1 Samuel, I mean.
Okay.
So
we're doing New Testament.
New Testament.
Jesus.
Obviously Jesus. Yeah.
John. Paul.
Paul is number 2. John is number 4.
Peter.
Number 3.
So I've got 4, the top 4.
Yeah, they give us 6 if you want to do 6.
And then the number 5 would be rounding out the top 5.
Now this one's a little cheating. I'll just give you this one and then you can ask.
Let me figure it out.
Well, it combines two names.
Oh,
but they're the same. Judas and Jude.
Oh, okay.
So
I would have never guessed that.
So what is the other one? What's the 6th one? Because I feel like that one doesn't count.
Gospels or after?
Gospels.
Mary.
No, Mary's not named that much.
Luke. Oh no,
nope.
You said it in the Gospels.
Starts with an S.
It's not Simon Peter.
Yeah, it's Simon. So what is the most? Here's another one. Most frequently mentioned city in the Bible.
Well, that would depend if they consider Zion and Jerusalem and all that the same thing.
Jerusalem, yeah. What are the other 2 or 3? One's bad.
Sodom.
No.
Oh, Samaria. Babylon. Okay.
Babylon.
All right.
And then Bethlehem, Nazareth, and then Jericho.
Okay.
So there are 700 personal names that are only mentioned, around 700, that are only mentioned once in the Bible.
I completely believe that.
Yeah.
If you'd have told me there were 1,200, I'd have believed you. Yeah. Based on the chronologies and stuff.
Yeah. It's like random. Shamar or whatever the guy's name, the guy who killed thousands of dudes with a ox goad or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
That guy. So the other thing that I was looking at was kind of related to, my mind's all over the place. Kind of related to my.
This is riveting.
To my message. How many hours do you think people are on their phone on average across America?
Per day, per week?
Yeah, what is the average?
6 hours.
On their smartphone each day, average in America.
6 hours.
Not quite. It's 4 hours, 43 minutes on their phone. So that adds up to 1,700 hours a year, roughly, I think.
1,700 hours?
Divided by...
So 71 days of your life out of 365.
Yeah.
So...
Many Americans... I'm reading it. Many Americans check their phone around 58 times per day.
How many times?
Without even thinking about it.
How many
58 times.
Oh,
so
easy.
you're just...
Easy.
Not...
That's 19% of your year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
They said... Another thing said it's about 10% of your year, typically. Like, that's the... You can just book 10% of your year is looking at your phone.
Wow. Okay. So... All right. I agree it's bad, but that's also... I'm looking at the weather. I'm checking information.
What is the percentage of people, average American, checking the weather compared to the other things?
Yeah, I would say, what's it called? Dead scrolling or whatever. I mean,
doom scrolling.
Doom scrolling. I knew I didn't. I'm messing everything up today. What did I say before Mississippi State? Oh, Miss. I would say during the work day though, I'm looking at. I'm doing work with it.
Yes.
I'm justifying.
Yes. So here's the thing this is how I got here is where do people get their news? Where do people get their information about what is going on?
Okay. I have 3 or 4 sources that I go to.
From 18 to 29 years old.
I know this. It's TikTok, isn't it?
TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube are the main sources of information, main sources of news.
I don't understand. How do you get your news? I don't have TikTok. How do you get news off of TikTok?
There's people that are actually now paid by
The news
companies
sites to do that.
They're just And
well, I guess Instagram.
They get a light like this, and they have, or like a circle light, and they sit there and they put it together real nice with a bunch of clips and different things and headlines and all these things, and they make it
just like a news broadcast.
Yeah, and you can make it say whatever you want it to say.
Well, I do 1440 on Instagram. I mean, they have headlines, but I also get their daily email that's supposed to be a non-biased. It's pretty good. It's pretty. I would agree. It's the most non-biased thing I read, because the other stuff I read, you can just from the headline you can tell it's so slanted. Now I know it's slanted, so at least I know that going into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead. So what percentage?
I don't
of young folks?
Not a percentage. It's just that is
the majority. That's where they get it. Okay.
From 18 to 29, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube are getting their.
Okay.
Those are the 3 top sources of information. So, that scares me, first of all. But
and it scares companies too that are like CBS News and.
Yeah, like I could not tell you the last time I got on and watched even seen it on a television anywhere near me.
The pace alone is so slow. I want it, and I want it now.
But that's the thing, going back to like when Cronkite was like it was at a specific time. If you wanted to know what was going on, you were at the TV.
Oh, yeah, that's
and
dead.
That's no longer a thing.
Yeah, to sit down and watch somebody who's really serious and staunch behind a desk take a half hour to tell me what I can look at in probably 25 seconds. I mean,
yeah,
that makes
it's the same thing with sports news too.
Oh,
I know what's going on based off of what I see on. I don't do TikTok, but Instagram.
Yeah,
like
I would agree with you on that.
Report on Luka Doncic scored 50 points or something.
Yeah, and ESPN knows that because they constantly are updating.
That's the only thing that popped up for me.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was interesting. That's not worthy of.
It actually sort of ties in with what we'll be talking about today.
That's true.
So, in Revelation 13.
All right.
Anything else you have there?
No.
So if you were there Sunday, you will have received this book with the Justice League on the front of it. Actually, it's what do they call that?
I don't know.
A Union Terminal. Yeah, that they actually used in the new Superman movie.
Yeah,
that was sort of cool. But in the middle of that, on page 9 of it, we talk about our path is connect, grow, serve, share, and in the grow part this year presented, it's easy for them, hard for us. And what that means is that we're putting forth effort as members of the church, as Christians, as leaders, whatever capacity you're at, we're putting forth the effort to where it will make of learning, of studying, of removing obstacles so other people, it's easier for them to learn. And one of those, I think, goes along with this today. We will pursue our own spiritual growth daily, leading by example, no matter where we are in our walk with the Lord. So all of us are in a different spot in our walk with the Lord. But we're going to continue to grow. So that's why we're here today. Jacob and I are. This is why we're studying ahead of time. This is why you're studying, because you're going to be helping other people as well. And the Scripture is our foundation. It's our priority so we can teach faithfully. So as you look at this, if you consider maybe if you were here Sunday, what we're talking about, I think this ties in with it, and that's why we do this.
Yep.
So, all right. Go ahead.
All right, so chapter 13, it gets...
We're into it.
We're into it, yeah. And this is where I'm very interested in... you know this about me. I only read biography type things. Mm-hmm. So when it comes up with like an individual rather than like a nation, that's where my interest peaks more. So these figures in here, these individuals, they are so fascinating to me.
People have
bad way.
People have debated who, what they are for centuries. So yeah.
So we have the two beasts here. Okay, so we'll get into that. But the two beasts rising from the sea, rising from the earth, and
So once again, there's a shift. We were in the heavenlies, in the spiritual realm, and now we are back to earth. So back and forth. Now we're back to earth. So I always find that important to draw out with this, where we are, who's talking, who's this. So
also first, I want to shout out Bob again, Bob McGeorge. His comments, we need to talk to him. I need to talk to him. He
studied this a lot.
He has studied this.
And the cool thing is he doesn't just study current folks. He studies people centuries ago and what their comments were. And you can see the gaining of knowledge over time, which actually will tie into today as well.
Yeah, it's just so if you haven't gone to YouTube and read the comments, I encourage you to, but go ahead. Sorry.
That's all right. So we're back to earth.
There's other people that are commenting too, but he's got 3 or 4 on each video.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I don't want to. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we have John. So I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. So John is now looking, and he sees this beast coming up out of the sea.
And this is a different beast because the crowns are in a different spot than chapter 12, verse 3, where it says a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns. This one has 10 crowns on the 10 horns.
Okay, yes. So the dragon, it itself describes who he is. That's Satan.
Yeah.
And we will clearly see that they're connected together. The dragon is Satan is the one that gives him the power that he has. Now he comes out of the sea, and there's a lot of consideration. What does that mean? I mentioned last week John Phillips thinks that out of the sea represents the rest of the world, the Gentiles, or the earth represents the Jews. I've not heard anyone else that has promoted that, but that's something to consider. So, but we know this guy's most likely a Gentile, and what is represented on him, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Some other people, from what I've read, the sea is viewed as chaotic and against the Lord, and that's, it kind of goes in with that. But then the other one comes out of land, so the opposite of that, coming from chaos and coming from.
Yeah, I saw some of that too.
But I don't know how I feel about that.
So this is a beast, not the dragon. They're distinct, yet still very treacherous. Some people consider this the beast out of the bottomless pit from chapter 11, verse 7. So that's to consider as well. And then if you go back to Romans 12, verse 3, the dragon had, as Jacob just mentioned, the 7 heads and the 10 horns. The horns represent power. So I think when you look at this, you have to consider first not just the who specifically, but let's consider the what at first. Now, I do think it is a who, but consider what is being here. This is a he that leads a government. Governments have no moral mooring or connection. You know, we see nations quickly lose any morality that they have to conquer, and they become this description found in Daniel, the beast that comes from that. So I think he leads. He's going to be leading the renewed Roman Empire of that time, if you want to call it that. But I do think it becomes a who. But his government that he controls will have this power. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's not a government. It's not an entity. It's a person.
It is a person, yes.
Because
but the entity with which
which he uses.
Yeah, the mechanism, governmental mechanism that he's going to use is treacherous.
Yeah.
Just as he is.
And we know it's a person because of the titles that he's given throughout the rest of Revelation.
Correct.
The Son of Perdition, the Prince, the King,
yeah.
There's
those types.
It's not just a government or a group of.
So this is. The Revelation doesn't use the word Antichrist. John does in 1 John, but this is who this is. The opposite, Antichrist. He is the opposite of Christ, but he's not just the opposite. I like what Guzik said.
Imitation.
He is also instead of Christ.
Yeah.
And he is this. How could this happen? How could it be? Well, the church is gone. So. This imitation comes about, and we're going to see how it comes about. How people would, oh yeah, I want to worship him. We're seeing this rejection of personal responsibility, even in America today. We're recording this on January the 2nd, and yesterday, Mamdani was sworn in on his hand on the Quran in New York City, and his speech there were a couple lines that were chilling. He talked about moving away from individualism, personal responsibility, and embracing, what was the term he used? He used a very soft, cuddly word as a descriptor of collectivism, communism, socialism. And people are embracing it like crazy. I mean, people your age think he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. So to think that a guy like this could not come in, is brainless. So he becomes the satanic Messiah, for lack of a better term. And
so I thought about that, what you just said, the Messiah, the imitation of a coming Messiah.
Right.
And how the Jews would be very, very easily persuaded in that because they still don't think the Messiah has come. But this Messiah is a government thing, as a leader who comes and, in the imitation of Christ, does what they wanted Jesus to do and rejected. One of the reasons why they rejected Jesus, because he didn't come with iron fist and controlling and overtaking the government. I'm
not completely sure on the timing of all that, how that would work out, but I see the point of that for sure. Now it calls him, it's calling him a beast.
And not in a good way.
Yeah. But don't mistake that, because he definitely has the intelligence. He's a man, and he has the intelligence of man, maybe even more through the power that Satan gives him. but he has the savagery of an animal. One guy puts in there, he's known as the little horn in Daniel 7:8, the king of fierce countenance in Daniel 8, the prince that shall come, the willful king. He comes in his own name, the son of perdition, the man of sin, the lawless one, all of those titles. So it talks here about the different horns. We're only on verse 1. The Roman Empire is sort of a revival of that. I think we talked about this last week. The 10 horns, the 10 crowns. You could go into a lot of detail on that. I encourage you to research that on your own because that would take a long time. But it says he blasphemes at the end of that verse that
and upon his heads the name of blasphemy.
Yeah, the name of blasphemy. So he's a deceiver. He's speaking out against God. Deception. You think today, the deep fakes that are already available today, and how we can make people look like they're saying anything. We've already had government officials be deep fakes put out on them, and it would be easy the deception that he could use to do anything at that time.
Well, you don't even have to take them and do a deep fake even. You can just use propaganda to have people deceived into thinking someone is something they are not.
Which we're going to get to, right?
Yeah.
Daniel chapter 8, and his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power, okay, which we're going to get to in verse 2. And he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, so people are getting money, so they're happy. And he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, capital P, but he shall be broken without hand. So this is the one they're talking about. Now, Paul also talks about him in 2 Thessalonians. So 1 Thessalonians we talked about was the warning to the church. 2 Thessalonians is the warning to the lost. And in chapter 2, now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of the Lord Jesus Christ, and by our gathering together unto you, that ye be not soon shaken in mind or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letters, as from us, the deceptive letter that came, as that the day of Christ is at hand. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. So he's talking about this, and he's given more detail. Who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things? And now ye know that withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work, only he who now letteth will let, until he be taken out of the way. And then shall the wicked, capital W, be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. So he's already giving warning here in the first century
about the deception
that's already coming. So this Antichrist is just one of a long line of deceivers that have come that culminate in this one person that's going to be. All right, so verse 2.
And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority.
Okay.
So we have the leopard, bear, and lion, and we're, like you said back in Daniel 8, the power is given to him by Satan. But going back to Daniel 7, you see these three animals used there as well. The leopard, who was, help me out, the Persians? No.
What? Say that again.
The leopard.
Oh yeah, you've got Babylon, then you got the Persians, and then you have Greece.
Greece, yeah. So in here, we're not talking about those three. This is This is one beast. This isn't four different beasts, but it's the same thing. Same animals being used here. So is this showing those?
Sort of a combination. This last animal is a combination of the three.
Just like what the Roman Empire was,
right,
who took over all of those things back in the...
So this is showing, as you study Daniel 7 and 8, there's this combination of the first three empires in this. So it's not just an empire, though. This is a man representing here. And it tells us that Satan will give him his power. If you go to Matthew chapter 4, verses 8 through 10, Jesus speaks of this coming power that's going to be given as well. And go ahead and read that.
I got it.
You got it.
Come on. Matthew 4, 8 through 10.
Yeah.
Again, the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world, and the glory of them, and saith unto him, All these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship thee. Then saith Jesus, unto him, Get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve.
So this is the temptation that was given. We talked about this last week. You can rule the nations. Well, this guy takes him up on it. More than that, he's raised up for this purpose, and he takes that. So I guess the question that as you're thinking about this, how does he become this? Is he possessed by Satan? Judas was possessed by Satan, and was led to do things.
Is it a random guy, or is it a beast from the depths of hell, and just like a facade of a human being?
Yeah, we've got a lot of people that think a lot of different things there. I'm not even going to attempt to do that. But here's the spot of interest to me, though, is how does this happen? Is it just possession by Satan in him? Or is he enhanced by technology? I mean, I'm not going to go down major speculative type things. He could be. Maybe he's some sort of, enhanced human that's come about.
That's more of what I was talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
An enhanced version of somebody.
Elon Musk was quoted in Silicon Valley talking about enhancements and AI. Good and evil can look much alike, but on the matter of artificial intelligence, the distinction hardly matters. Either way, an encounter with the superhuman is at hand. I mean, there's already the story was out a month ago of a guy that he's got different
chip in his head.
Chips, and he can control different things. And somebody who's paralyzed, and now they can do this. Yeah, great. I'm all for that person. But you could see, you add to that the possession of Satan in a person, and the wisdom, evil wisdom, but the political cunning of Satan. This isn't his first rodeo. He's been through time. Angels are eternal, and he's been through time, and he has moved pawns throughout time. He knows how humans think more than we do. He's not superior. I mean, he's a created being, but yet he's highly intelligent. And you add that intelligence and cunning, we're on a different scale. and very interesting. So
like a cyborg?
no, I think it's a real person, but you.
It's a cyborg. It's
Yeah, I
half
guess.
human, half.
Yeah. If I can instantly, Matrix type mentality where I load how to do a helicopter,
Yeah.
and you instantly have that in your brain.
You have ChatGPT in your head.
Yeah, I mean, on a minuscule level, think of that. I mean, I don't know. This is complete conjecture. This is just thinking and having fun. Fun's not the right word, but letting your brain go a little bit.
Imagination.
Now, here's the interesting thing, though, with this, and this is a common trait through the Bible. When there's prophecy at the beginning of the Bible that goes over a long stretch of time, usually the prophecy toward the end gives more detail than at the beginning. Beginning of the Word of God, we have Adam and Eve, and it's prophesied that her seed would crush the head of Satan, and then more detail is given. And it's not even called Satan at that time. It's just the serpent, and more is given as time goes on until we have the full understanding of that. Well, the same thing we're seeing here. Now in Revelation, we're given a lot of detail of what Paul talked about, what Jesus talked about, what Daniel talked about. It was very vague then, very flamboyantly descriptive, but now it's coming into
the how
and who this is.
Speaking of, verse 3, and I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. And they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? So, talking about imitation instead of Christ, or the imitation of Christ. This is a mortal wound that one of the faces, one of the beasts or whatever, whichever one it is, it doesn't say. It looks like it was dead and brought back to life.
Right.
And because of that, everyone.
Not one of the beasts, the Antichrist.
One of the faces of the beast.
Okay, yeah.
And because of that, they marvel, because how are you alive?
And Satan is the one that brings him back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have go ahead. I interrupted you.
And so this is what Christians did with Jesus. When Jesus died and was brought back to life, when Jesus died, the apostles felt defeated, and then they saw Jesus, and they were, and that's what propelled them to go and preach the gospel.
Because he conquered.
He conquered death.
Grave, yeah.
This is the imitation of that.
Correct.
Toward the evil way.
Right.
And capturing not just the disciples and the people in the upper room. This is the earth, as this is everyone who's still on the earth at this point.
Yeah.
The magnitude of it.
Right. So this, verse 14 alludes to it being a sword. That the wound was, that's neither here nor there. And Satan heals him from this, and it alludes to other times that because of this is why people start to worship him. Yeah, complete imitation of Christ's death and resurrection. Just as many pictures of what do I have here? So, okay, never mind. That doesn't even make sense to me now. It's a complete imitation of this, and we're going to see the whole thing's imitation. He uses the same playbook, but at a lesser degree. And
so, where my mind goes, why do people believe this and not Jesus? Why did they believe? Why do they believe this imitation rather than the actual Jesus rising from the dead? I think it's technology.
You do?
I think how many people saw Jesus, and then it was word of mouth from then on.
Oh, okay.
The faith is or I don't know the verse. I'm not gonna butcher it. But if you see that, if you're like, oh wow, that person died, and then I'm seeing him on live television right now, it is a lot easier to believe that than something that you can't see. They did not have phones. They did not have technology back then.
That's true.
So I think that's another way that technology is going to come into play there.
Now, the next imitation part of that comes in with verse 4, because, all right, we worship Jesus Christ. He's the Son of God. He is God the Son. He was resurrected, but also through that we worship God the Father, because he brought the resurrection. Well, now we see here. And they worship the dragon, Satan, which gave power unto the beast, which gave power, and they worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, and who is able to make war with him? So we have the exact same situation as you were mentioning here. The imitation of worshiping Satan, because he's the one that healed the beast. So the worship is both of beast and Satan, because of this imitation once again. And the world will be afraid of him as well. So he's come to power. He's now conquered this, come back from it, and this assassination attempt or whatever it is, was this in the battle with the two witnesses that we read about earlier? Some people think that's the timing there, that the two witnesses, that he came back from that. I'm not sure. So then the question is, how long will this come about? How long will this blasphemy, will God allow this to occur? Well, verses 5 and 6 tell us that.
And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months, 3.5 years. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven.
So he's given 42 months, so the last 3.5 years. I find it interesting that he blasphemes God, which we would expect, and his tabernacle, and them that dwelt in heaven. So Christians.
Yeah.
Yeah, as well. Go ahead.
And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them, and power was given him, it says that over and over all kindreds and tongues and nations. So now he has taken over the world.
Yeah.
And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world. If any man he have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
Yeah, so we have now, he's blaspheming God, he's being worshipped. So if he's being worshipped by the world, he's got to cut down God, because he has to promote himself. Satan has always done that, right?
But it's working.
Yeah.
It's allowed to be.
This is working. Those who become believers during this time. So if you're premillennial, you believe, or pre-tribulation, I'm sorry, you would believe these are the people in verses 7 and 8, those that are, he's making war with the saints. Those would be people that would be saved during those first 3.5 years. The 144 witnesses that led them to Christ. And if you do not believe that, you believe it's the church probably. But, that's for you to make that decision. They're not bowing down to him. And everyone, all will worship him.
The ones that are not written in the book of life of the Lamb. I found that stuck out to me. The ones that are...
Who are the people written in the Lamb's Book of Life?
Christians.
Yeah, Christians. So how, you've got this mandatory belief. It sort of reminds me of the...
Nebuchadnezzar.
It reminded me of the Roman Empire, where you had to go out and do your pinch of salt in the fire toward the bust of
Caesar.
Caesar, else you were considered blaspheming the country. So,
Well, it's
that's
the
what's going-
revamp of that.
Yeah. And then we get into verses 11 through 18, where we find the next guy.
I found it. I don't know.
Do you want to go into that? Yeah, we're at 45 minutes. We can go into that.
Well, verses 9, it says, "If any man have an ear, let him hear." Where do we hear that before?
Yeah.
The first 2 or 3 chapters with the
Mhm.
churches. And then also verse 10, where it says, "He that leadeth into captivity and he that killeth," that's in Jeremiah. Jeremiah says that 2 or 3 times in his book. So this is,
I didn't study that.
yeah, it's the captivity, like
Uh-huh.
that type of thing. So I don't know. I haven't gotten too in depth in studying that, but I found it interesting that it is almost word for word here
Really?
of
That's cool. I didn't.
of
Yeah, I didn't
Jeremiah.
see that.
Jeremiah 15 and Jeremiah 43.
Is it interesting though when he's bringing up the Antichrist that once again, if you have an ear to hear this.
Yeah.
I mean, so this is a warning once again. This is what's coming. Please listen.
Yep.
Please hear once again. God continues to be gracious and merciful to give us warning.
So verse 11.
We'll go into this? Okay, here we go. So we're into the second beast.
And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. Keep going.
One more verse.
And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
I should not. I'm like almost. I should not be grinning while I read that because it's horrible, but it's just it's so interesting and exciting.
With
Exciting
what we
is
know
not the
now.
right word, but how God's written this and
Fascinating.
showing. Yeah, it's very fascinating. That's the right word. So who is this guy?
So it comes out of the earth, not out of the sea. So
Right.
from what you said, the
Is he
sea was
possibly
Gentiles.
Jewish? We don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, Phillips is the only guy I've ever read that uses that description. Nobody else seems to even venture into a guess on that.
So a little synopsis of how I understand this beast is that it is, so there's the red dragon, which is Satan. Then you have the Antichrist, which is the beast that comes out of the sea, who has powers. And then this one is basically pointing everybody to the first beast.
Right.
So this second beast is almost a witness to them, and it says twice here, whose deadly wound was healed. And then that was in verse 12. Then in verse 14 it says, "Wound by a sword and did live." So he keep pointing this out to people. Hey, this person just was raised from the dead because of the red dragon.
Yeah.
And
Some people call it the not the Antichrist, but the anti-Holy Spirit here.
yeah, because now we have 3.
Yeah. Another imitation, huh?
Yeah. So the wicked,
The unholy Trinity.
unholy Trinity. Okay.
Yeah. That's how I've always heard it called, the unholy Trinity. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's once again a ripoff. It's a parody or a imitation, whatever you want to call it. Now, this false prophet has 2 horns. Some have thought, like a lamb. So there's this peacefulness, almost religious side of it. So both religious and political authority. Some people think these 2 horns represented in this person. and he is, he's the false priest or the false prophet or whatever you want to call him, and he is okay. You've been reading on the Third Reich. Who is this guy? He's Hitler's Goebbels.
Oh.
Right?
Oh, I thought. Okay, I didn't know. I've purposely not mentioned the. Yeah,
The Hitler
he's the
thing.
propaganda guy.
Yeah, he's the propaganda guy.
He's the guy that. Yeah, he's the one that points and controls what is thought about the leader.
But he can like bring fire down. I mean, he's like the magicians with Moses. Actually, he reminds me when I'm thinking in today's world. 2 Spider-Man movies ago, Mysterio.
Yeah.
Remember how he created all that chaos in No Way Home?
Yeah.
Or Far From Home?
One of them.
Yeah, the second one. And he had all those drones that were creating this false appearance of what he looked like and what was going on. And actually none of it was going on.
Yeah.
You know, it was that kind of thought. Except these are probably not illusions.
Yeah, the whole image.
It's all image.
Yes, in giving the power to the image. Is that just a big screen?
I don't think so. Before we go to that part, though, I mean, to me, this is all it's all smoke and mirrors. Everything is about imitation to get people to worship, to control.
Yeah.
This is the opposite of what Jesus Christ did, right? It had to, as you mentioned, it had to slowly emanate out by lives that were changed from the inside out, right? This is the opposite. This is the whole demand you outwardly worship. No change inside. It's all outside. And it's all this smoke and mirrors of what's going on. And that's what, I mean, you can't renew a person's life because you're not God. And a lot of people worship outside of that. So,
I didn't think about that. That's good. Not good, but you know what I'm saying.
I got what you're saying. So he sets up this image of the beast and he animates it.
Gives power to it so that it can speak.
Okay, what did it say there? He gave what?
Sorry. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
Yeah. Let's see that again. He gave power to give life unto the beast. So that he did not breathe into him the breath of life types. All right. So there, I think the wording there is slightly different. I've got several things with this. How does this happen? I've got some different quotes here on, is this AI? Is this a hologram? I don't think it's a hologram because he animates it. It's definitely something very advanced. Here's one quote. Contrary to what some conspiracy theories assume, you don't really need to implant chips in. Oh, I got to come back to that. That's something different. Okay. I got all these quotes. Today, scientists seek to build ASI, a monolithic decision-making agency, as a super-intelligent singleton. Okay, what's that mean? So one spot. Similarities between the two transcend time and space. Both are a quest for supremacy of mankind, one with a tower that reaches the heavens, the other with a singleton that is capable of dominating man. Both are quests for self-glory, making a name for themselves. Does that sound familiar with Babel? Seeking the glory in themselves instead of seeking the glory of God. Both are quests for independence from God. People would rather trust the creations of their own hands than trust the Creator. This is from a quote from a gentleman a research that he spoke at IBM in Canada. I'd imagine that was a quiet conversation there. So this is going to be used to control people, which we'll come back to in just a moment. But he gives life to this, and this will be used. So the beast is set up here, and this beast, if they don't bow down to it, then they're going to be killed. Yeah. It says there should be killed. So how does this happen? How do we have an entire society that is okay with this? And here's the interesting thing. Contrary to what some conspiracy theories assume, you don't really need to implant chips in people's brains in order to control them or manipulate them. For thousands of years, prophets, poets, and politicians have used language and storytelling in order to manipulate and control, to reshape society. Now AI is likely to be able to do it, and once it can, it doesn't need killer robots to shoot us. It can get humans to pull the trigger. In the future, we might see the first, cult and religions in history where revered texts were written by non-human intelligence. So this is saying just AI alone could manipulate us enough to where if it says kill, the beast doesn't have to kill us. We'll kill ourselves because we'll be such followers of this, of what it is saying. So if you start to think that type of thing, I think that I found that quote to be very interesting.
There's been movies of that where people have bought into I guess it was Mission Impossible, the last one.
Yeah.
Where people were so enamored by this AI that whatever it said, whatever it told them to do, they did, to the point of that devotion.
Yeah, that was the last two of them.
Yeah, Dead Reckoning. Or whatever it's called.
But this is, so when this beast is set up, this is what Jesus spoke about, what Daniel spoke about, what Paul speaks about in 2 Thessalonians. This is the abomination of desolation in the temple. This is the thing that others have imitated over the years that has happened in the temple in Jerusalem. But this is the time, and that is the ching, where the time when the clock starts. And 42 months, 3.5 years, Christ will be returning from that point when that occurs.
So, when the image is set up?
I believe so. I think this is the exact time. It's been imitated many times, but this is the one that has been foretold of over and over again. So it's
so it has to be a physical thing within the temple.
Yes. I think that's what he says there. He sets up this image. And so you wonder, how far will God allow this to go? Well, how far did God allow it to go before he went down and he confused the languages in Babel? And now, how far? I mean, you look at how much we're advancing. We're creating these past supercomputers. We've got these computers that are, they're putting in acres upon acres of computing capacity to be able to do these different things. How much will we put ourselves above where we think we're putting ourselves above God? That quote that I said, where we want to be seen and we're blaspheming God. Well, to me, this is the culmination. And God says, you got 42 months and it's done. Control is going to happen, which we get now to verse 6. And
16.
He causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Why? That no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the name of his, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. 666. So you're not following the beast, and we're going to know.
Yeah, because you don't have it on your hand.
You don't have it forehead. You don't have it in your right hand, and you don't have it in your forehead. And that technology's been around. And now RFID can't do miles and miles away right now, but I mean, how soon is that going to be available?
Yeah. So this, it, I don't, I don't know. People throughout the years, Jacob, what do you think the mark is? I, I don't, I don't know.
Go
Is
ahead.
this six? Is it 666? Which again, that number, that should not put fear in Christians. In my opinion, that should not put fear in Christians' mind. This is the sign of Satan, but Christ defeated Satan. So, me saying that, I know that gives people the heebie-jeebies because it's Satan, but it's, in my opinion, that number, it is a number that just represents that the number has no power over us.
Correct.
Is what I'm trying to say.
And it's once again, I interrupted you.
No,
Go ahead.
go.
It's once again just an imitation.
Yeah.
Because Revelation 7, verse 3, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, or them, till we have sealed the servants of God in their foreheads. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and they were sealed, 144,000, and it gives the number that is, God seals them in their forehead.
Yeah.
Right? The number 777 is, so 7's complete. It is perfection. 6 is the number of man, incomplete, not perfect.
Yeah. So with that, is it the number 666 on the forehead or hand, or is it
Both.
or just like a chip or something?
I don't know. For years, they've said that the two small lines in the beginning, middle, and end of a barcode is represents 6. I don't know. There's millions of things that I don't think it really matters.
The monster can. Have you seen that one?
No.
Satanic. It's satanic.
Oh, I didn't know that. The key to all of that, and you can go into a lot on those numbers if you want. I've seen crazy stuff on that. That each letter in the
Roman numerals,
Hebrew alphabet represents a specific number. You add those up, and that's, the Bible uses that. You go to the Matthew chapter 1, and David is DVD, and you add that up, and it's 14, and there's 14 generations before, 14 generations. There's 3 sets of 14 there.
Yeah.
So there is some numerology without a doubt in the Bible. The significance, though, I think of this is you can't buy and sell. He controls.
Yeah, it's a complete control of it's not just the people that are willingly worshiping and accepting it. Now it is the control of the people that are not, because the people that can buy and sell, they don't care about them. They care about the ones that are not, because they want to kill them.
Right. So there's number systems that have gone. We have Social Security numbers. When Social Security came out, I've read articles, from the 40s that people are like, "This is the mark of the beast. You're causing us to have a number." And when if you find people that lived through the Holocaust, they were given numbers. They were engraved in their body. And so, people have been, but no time has everyone in the world had to have a number.
And no time has it ever controlled you buying and selling.
Yeah, that's the big one.
It's just more of an identification rather than...
And you think about, okay, so right now, 2002, religious freedom conditions in China continue to deteriorate. The communist Chinese government has created high-tech surveillance state utilizing facial recognition, artificial intelligence to monitor and harass Christians, Tibetan Buddhists, and some other religions I've never heard of. The Chinese government is already using AI to actively increase its Christian persecution for those it labels not Chinese enough, including Christians. A few years ago, China initiated a social credit system, you probably heard of that, monitoring all Chinese citizens by using closed-circuit cameras, phone apps, and purchases. The information collected, it used to create social credit scores, which rank each individual on their citizen worthiness. So that's using AI and closed-circuit TVs and stuff. Okay, now think hive mentality, all right, where there are spots throughout the entire world. This is scary stuff.
Yeah, it is.
But, okay, so we'll just use a simple thought. There's 1,000 spots. We'll call them digital agents, for lack of a better term. When one knows the information, they all know the information.
Blockchain.
Right.
Well, somewhat.
You and I still have to tell you. You have to tell someone else. But instantly, across the world, everyone, the whole world knows. And when that network, which is somewhat today, but when there's no latency in that, it's instantaneous, then we've got this situation. So how far does God allow that to go? It was the question. And we see, here's a guy that will have that kind of control. He'll have the technology. He'll have the control spiritually over the people as well. And this will be the situation that he has someone actively promoting him, not shying away from it, embracing it by the control, by the power given to him by Satan. But it's only for a season, because God will only allow this to happen for a certain period of time. And
it's only an imitation too.
It's an imitation. So it's very interesting to talk about. You get excited and all that, but it's an imitation. And ultimately, here is wisdom. Here is wisdom. Listen. Don't pay attention to what's going on here. All right. Anything else with that?
I got it, yeah, but not on here. If you'd like to talk to me about some of the speculations.
Yeah, next week we go back to the 144,000, and so we're sort of backtracking a little bit. We still didn't see how he came to power. We see that Satan gave him the power, but we still don't see how his rise to power. That's not going to come till, I think it's chapter 17. And so once again, it's sort of patchwork throughout there, because ultimately this is about Jesus Christ, and that's what we'll see, more in the second chapter, next chapter.
Does it say how the first beast was killed, and then brought back to life?
No, that's the detail there.
That's all we have?
That's the detail there. But we don't have that in the other prophecies prior to that.
Yeah.
So that's more detail than we were given before. Man, tell us a joke, please.
Yeah. Why don't eggs tell jokes?
I don't know.
They might crack up. What did the big flower say to the little flower? Hi, bud.
Oh, boy.
I'll be here all week.
Tip your waiters. We'll be here all week. All right. Well, we entered the new year, and wow, what a chapter to enter the new year with. But you guys have a great week, and we will see you next week. Love you guys. Bye.